most people don't realize is they think of Florida as this perfect place, right? We're in paradise. But what they don't realize is that we actually live in a very harsh climate for materials. And so what I mean by that is wood, for example, is a temporary product here in Florida. It's going to rot, it's going to fade, it's going to dry out, it's going to crack. When you paint it, the paint peels. And so all these different things basically exposed an opportunity for us to bring a far superior product to the market.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul Gagliardi, president of My Living Media, and welcome back to My Living Media podcast. I'm here with our special guest, Josh, president of Jupiter Pergola. And I've also got Jeremy, vice president, and Mike, the director of market development. Welcome. Welcome back, I should say. Yeah, it's good to see you gentlemen again. The last time we met, we were, I guess the first time we met, we were just enthralled with what you guys were doing. Such great people doing great things in your community. It was just a perfect fit for us, and we were really excited. And then some of the things that got us even more excited this time around was you guys jumped into some commercial stuff. You've been doing it all along, but we'd not been down to see one of your commercial fits, and this thing is just amazing. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about that. It was an amazing opportunity for us to work for this family. They're just wonderful to work with, and they really take pride in creating an environment for their clientele. And obviously here in South Florida, we deal with not only the high temperatures, but whether it's wind or whether it's rain and all the different elements. And so we were just thrilled to death that we were able to help them provide a better atmosphere for their customers and really give them the ability to allow their customers to sit outside any season, any month, any time of the day.
Can you tell us who that is?
Absolutely. So the restaurant is called Rodizio Grill. It's a Brazilian restaurant, a Brazilian steakhouse to be exact, down in Dania Point, which is in Dania Beach. It's a really beautiful shopping area with a bunch of restaurants and movie theaters and things like that.
Great. And that's another thing we picked up on is I make a ton of sales calls. We go out and talk to the customers, and all pergolas are not made the same, are they? And what goes into them and where they're built, and I guess the things that each one of you spoke to it very clearly last time is whether it's the heat or the salt air and the water and rain and temperatures and all of the things that go into it. But the fact is you guys are using materials that combat all of that.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's something that's so super important because since that time also, you've been on several calls to repair some of these things that have been built.
Unfortunately.
And, somebody puts in a lot of money to get it done the first time.
Yes.
If it's not done right, you're going to end up in this position. So that's part of what you're doing.
You're exactly right. And so to speak to that is, I think what most people don't realize is they think of Florida as this perfect place, right? We're in paradise. But what they don't realize is that we actually live in a very harsh climate for materials. And so what I mean by that is wood, for example, is a temporary product here in Florida. It's going to rot, it's going to fade, it's going to dry out, it's going to crack. When you paint it, the paint peels. And so all these different things basically exposed an opportunity for us to bring a far superior product to the market. Now, when I say that, there are other products that are similar, but they are not designed specifically for South Florida. And so the fact of the matter is that we have an American-made product that's not only American-made, but fabricated here in Florida and designed and engineered specifically for the Florida market. And whether that is the 100% aluminum construction, stainless steel fasteners, gasketing on the louvers, or the way we do our footers, and even the engineering. Our engineer actually has a stamps our engineering, for 170 mile an hour winds. So these are hurricane rated, just like your roof, just like your hurricane impact windows at your home. And so that's very important for people to understand when they're looking to make an investment like this. So the other thing that you spoke about was as far as coming back behind other people's work. And I say it, unfortunately, we had to do that because I feel bad for these clients. I wish that I had gotten to them sooner. I wish they had called me so that we could at least have a consultation meeting prior to them purchasing a competitor's product, we'll say. And what I mean by that is that the design of our system, our Sundance all-season pergola, which is a patented product, is we got the license for the entire state of Florida specifically for that product for very important reasons. And one of those is we are the only company that uses 100% stainless sealed bearings for our pivot system. And so what that means is that there is never metal to metal anywhere. Now, what metal to metal causes, one is friction, one is deterioration. You have to imagine any paint or powder coating, anytime it rubs, right? Anytime something rubs, it causes friction, which is causing heat, which is causing all kinds of problems. Besides that, the motors that they use are not rated and not designed for this environment. And so what you have when you have metal to metal and you have a motor that's not rated for that is you have a tremendous amount of force that motor has to pull on in order to get it to open. And so what we're finding when we're going to these competitors' projects is these motors are literally failing in 6 months. And it's so astounding because, one, as much as I love my customers, I don't want them to have to call me in 6 months unless it's, hey, I miss you. You want to come by and stop and say hi and have a drink? I want them to be happy to see me. And what's happening is that they're begging us to come and help them. But everybody, I would think that you would ask, well, why are they calling you? Why aren't they calling the company that installed it? That's the most surprising thing, right? They are calling. They literally said, I've been trying to call for months, years, and we've heard nothing from them. They won't return phone
It's
calls.
so sad. It's terrible.
It's very easy. It's very easy to treat people kindly, with respect, and to just communicate. It's very simple. And so what we're doing now is that we're going into these commercial properties, very high scale, high end properties, and unfortunately having to design custom made products specifically for them to try to maintain the flawed system they have, because nobody wants to have this huge investment for this high-end property and then for me to come in and say, well, you have to replace it all, right? And spend all the money again, right? I mean, that is option one, but it's also the most expensive option. So I think if nothing else, us just trying to come up with a solution and make custom covers for their motors and find ways to lubricate and try to get their flawed system to work is what we're trying to do, to your point. But I'm glad that we do have some clientele that value a superior in the quality. Really, they value quality work.